Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard.
Hello out there, great lands of lands. Hello, welcome to Ashoka. Live streaming to review this awesome TV series. As some say, some might not say that, who knows? We have all kinds of different opinions going on about this series right now. Seen some crazy stuff all over YouTube. But anyways, we're here tonight to talk about and discuss Star Wars Ahsoka, episode 2 of season 1 of Ahsoka. All right, so this episode, which was launched with the first episode, yes, we are a week behind, folks, so bear with us. We like to mull in our, Star Wars-ness, as we've come to say about it, and also just to kind of, for us that aren't as Star Wars-ese as some are, we like to mull it over a little bit more, talking about you, Jeff, and so anyways, episode 2. Well, this episode was definitely not as good as the first episode, but it wasn't too shabby. I definitely think it had some really good action in it, which, they waited till the very end to give us. But I feel like this episode had a lot of, disposition in this film, or in this episode, I should say. It has a lot of, kind of that groundwork that they have to work in to kind of get you up the par where you need to be. And I feel there was just a lot of lag time with this episode. And that's just, what I thought about it. But, everyone has a different opinion about how things go with, these things, but that's just how it is. But anyways, so just to kind of get us started, I just want to go around the table here. And I just want to ask, what were your guys's, what were your thoughts going into this episode? Was there anything you were looking for? Was there anything you expected that might have happened? Or was it not what you expected at all? Starting with you, Andreas.
Sure. Thank you, Senator. I saw this episode with the first episode when we did our show, so it wasn't a bad watch. I think this episode was good, like the first episode. I mean, this episode was kind of like setting us up with all the major plot points that we're going to see throughout the series. It's like, okay, the bad guys got the map, and it's like they know where is Thrawn is, and so now like the heroes has to kind of catch up, and taking some of the characters to their logical direction of the series, like Sub-Bran, like her joining with Ahsoka towards the end of the show, the end of this episode to join her to stop the the villains finding Thrawn in the series. So that was pretty good. So it's a good second episode. It's nothing bad. I think it's a good follow up to the first episode.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Leech, same question, sir.
Yeah, it met my expectations. Didn't exceed like I think the first one did. But getting a little getting to learn the characters better. I really like Balin. I just wish they would give him more screen time. Morgan Elsbeth showing off her Night Sister skills, and just getting a better look at Sabine and Ahsoka as they're kind of mending their relationship, and that there's factions of the Empire that are still like little splinter cells that are still active, probably on the assumption that Thrawn is coming back, and then that would be the return of the Empire. I like where it's heading to, like, all the foreshadowing and everything. Obviously, they're gonna have some kind of a standoff once they find Thrawn, because they're both groups are going to the same place. Your Ahsoka group, and then the Morgan Elsbeth's group. But yeah, I thought it was a good one.
Excellent. Jeff, same question, sir.
I like that I like the fact that that is one of the Inquisitors. I wasn't sure about that in the first episode, but now that that is that third character that's with Skull, right? Is one of the Inquisitors. I can't figure out which one it is. I can't get like a full explanation as to which brother or sister or whatever the hell that is. But it's obviously a he. They say his name at one point.
Merrick.
And the fight scene with was great. I thought between not that I want to get far to the episode, but that was a great fight scene with Ahsoka. I thought this episode was actually redemptive in a way for Sabine's character. For me, I really didn't care for her in the first episode, and I felt like the arc that they gave her to balance out the rest of the episode, because it was kind of like sort of like her bounce back episode, was really good. I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. I thought that the whole Rebels vibe worked. I thought that it was kind of like almost a say goodbye to the Rebels kind of ending. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're moving past that point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Ahsoka now. This is the fucking Ahsoka series now. You know what I'm saying? And like, now I'm cutting my hair off and shit. I'm putting my shit on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying goodbye to my art and shit. Let's just fucking go fight these people over in this, whatever that stone shit where they were at, or whatever, Stonehenge looking shit was. I love I love, like Leach said, the whole like Night Sister deal with everything. And Leach is what's her name? Baylan Skoll's what's it called? Padawan?
Oh, Shin.
Shin, is she also one of the Night Sisters?
No.
So she doesn't have any kind of connection with them or anything like that, whatnot.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to make sure. I found it the only thing I'm still wondering why she didn't kill Sabine in the first episode. Like, that just seemed kind of like that was a little lame for me to this point.
I think it was intentional, because somebody with her skill level could have ended her right there. She kind of gave a non-lethal strike just to kind of put her down. But I think that's going to be uncovered in future episodes.
That's the reason why I asked about the Night Sister thing. I'm just wondering if there's some kind of like correlation, you know what I'm saying, between the Night Sister deal, whatnot, and like, maybe that's why she decided to, because that's obviously that was a wounding strike.
Yes. Like,
it was not like meant to kill her, or she would have killed her.
Right.
So I'm not trying to harp on episode 1, but yeah, a great episode, I thought, altogether. Not, like I said earlier in the studio, not better than the first episode. And agree with Leach. Baylan Skull would be mucho grande.
Yeah, big time.
Excellent, folks. Thank you. All right, so this episode is called Part 2, Toil in Trouble. This one was directed by Steph Green, who also worked on the Book of Boba Fett, the Watchmen TV series as well. And, of course, Dave Filioni did the writing for this episode. But basically, this episode starts off with Skull and Hattie, and they're on the planet Seatos. And that's when that Elsbeth pops up, and they show her, the orb. And she shows that she knows how to use the orb there. And she's able to pull up this like giant map of the galaxy, and basically shows exactly where Thrawn is, and basically lets them know that Thrawn is trapped in another galaxy, and we need to go and let him loose. Basically, in order for him to get out, we have to go free him. And basically, that's kind of how the episode starts. Then basically, we see that Sabin has survived Hattie's attack, that she's in the hospital recovering. Ahsoka's there, and so is her droid, along with a hologram of General Sundella. and who, of course, is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Ahsoka, of course, is played by Rosario Dawson. And basically, she's there. She wakes up, and basically, Ahsoka asks her, what she found out, what happened. Basically, they have like a little combo, and basically, we get kind of some interesting little tidbits about her opening the orb and like finding out the little information she did. And she basically says that she found that the last spot she saw that had reached was Corellia, and that basically they end up talking about how that one of the Empire's people had a base on Corellia that they used to manufacture things. So basically, they decide that they're going to go check out Corellia and see if that depot there is still manufacturing anything. Because why would this map have that particular spot still highlighted in this map? And so basically, that's Ahsoka and Cinnabella, Snidola, however you say her name, Cindola,
Hera
Hera.
is her first. Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, Hera, and decide that they're going to go check out Corellia. But before we get to them going to Corellia, the Ahsoka's droid has kind of a little brief conversation with Ren, and basically saying you need to basically do this and that, blah blah blah. Always being very straightforward with all of his acquisitions a little bit there. So basically, before we get to Corellia, the Corellian depot, what were you guys' thoughts on that kind of that beginning intro of the episode? What did you find fascinating? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? What did you think about the cinematography, the CGI work, all the special effects? I mean, hands down, I think that Ahsoka's ship is so cool looking. Absolutely love how Ahsoka's ship looks. It's so badass, and it looks amazing. They look like they put a lot of great time and effort into the CGI work with it, making it look so good. So what were your guys' thoughts on that? So start with you, Leech.
Yeah. Well, I think the with each series that comes out, I think special effects get a little bit better. I recall seeing like the first scene of The Mandalorian, season 1, episode 1, and I guess I was nitpicking a little bit, but I'm just like, oh man, this looks so bad as far as like the computer generated effects. So they definitely moved in the right direction. I think the score is phenomenal. It does a lot for the show in building, tension or anticipation, what have you. Um, you, you see there's a little tension between Ahsoka and Sabine, since Sabine pretty much, did this rebellious thing and took the map with her, and it just set this course of events into motion, that, now Ahsoka's behind the 8 ball, and she's just basically following the bad guys, where she wanted to go find Thrawn first. I did like the opening scene with the three baddies, um, uh, together, looking at the map and all this, and explaining that there is another galaxy out there that the that is where Thrawn is, and where was it the Purgle? Is that what they call the space whales?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that
Balin hears them. Yep.
Yeah, and you can kind of see them through the clouds and stuff like that, which I thought was cool. Bringing them to live action again. I remember Mandalorian had them in it, but they were kind of like shaded, but by the clouds and things. So you got a better look at them this time. I think that they're going to play a part in how Ahsoka and her crew gets there, because obviously that they don't have the capabilities that Morgan Elsbeth has. like this big hyperspace ring that they're getting ready to. What was the Scion? Was the name of their ship or something like that? Or
Yeah, that's what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah. Um, so I think there was a lot of foreshadowing in here, especially with the Purgles and everything like that. Um, yeah, and I think this episode really just like built up a lot of anticipation for what the rest of the series is going to be about.
Excellent. Thank you. Andre, your thoughts, sir.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with Leach. I think this, this beginning part was really awesome. Seeing the cinematography of this episode was really great. Like, it reminds me of some of the Last Jedi, like some color schemes and the palettes they use, and it's really cool. I'm loving the main villain. Was it Morgan Elizabeth? Like, she's a very like fascinating villain, and so I was very happy that we got more like scenes with her a little bit, and like getting to understand, okay, what's her plan, like what's her agenda to get Thrawn back and all that a little bit, So that was really nice. I'm like, I was already hooked on the Ahsoka slash Sabine relationship, and I really like that we developed that more in this episode, which is nice. Like, it was really cool to, like, I always dug the Jedi's, like, like, oh, like, for a person that I'm not a big Star Wars guy, like, I like how the Force is sort of like a telekinesis ability, like they can read through people's minds. And it was kind of cool to hear the voices of Sabine,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
when Ahsoka was in the room, and it was like kind of cool because she was trying to figure out, okay, what happened the last episode, like, because he knew that maybe a droid was probably left there to wait for Sabine to come back and kill her, maybe. Which it was funny that she was right. So that was really neat that they did set that up, and I like that because that's really good visual like storytelling. Because that's something I hate about some of the modern filmmaking. Is like, don't like show. What was the word? Show, not tell. And I think the show is doing that a really good job of that, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
To add to what you were saying about Ahsoka, so I guess they delved a little bit into a new force power
Yeah,
where
from
where
yeah,
clones.
yeah, so like Ahsoka was just kind of like feeling out and could reenact that whole fight scene, what was said, what how
yeah,
everything went down, just by her kind of walking in that area and just kind of reliving it through the force.
The
yeah,
I thought that was
yeah,
cool.
like the latent force energy that's left over, whatnot, and everything,
Yeah.
right? Because even though what's his name, Hawaii or whatever his name is, says like you've got like the worst fucking Jedi shit ever.
Oh
Or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying? Like, she's like, Sabine still has like force power. Like, she still does, she is force, resistant, or whatever the hell it's called. So she does have like, she's wielded the dark saber and everything and whatnot. So
Yeah.
at that point, that's the reason why I believe that Ahsoka can do that and recreate that stuff, is because of that force energy that would be left over. And then she knew because of the bot too, because like Sabine said flat out, like, there were two and I killed one.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
She
yeah.
even said, I was hoping you'd still be here, after she, you know, cut his head off. But
Yeah, it was nice. And last thing to wrap up is the David Tennant android. I love that android. That's like my personal favorite android of any androids in the Star Wars universe. I mean, David Tennant is a great actor. I mean, come on, Doctor Who, and the Good Old Man's show, and of course Jessica Jones. Like, here, I was so happy he's part of the Star Wars universe. He has a great voice, and he sounds like a droid, which I like. Um, I like his his kind of like bounce of Sabine, because it's like he's right. Like, Sabine is very like stubborn kind of person, and like she should rejoin and train her Jedi skills more. So, but yeah, but overall, I enjoyed this part. It's really good.
Yeah. Another thing that just came back to me is how Thrawn was speaking to Morgan from a galaxy away. You know, and
Yeah.
she also said that it was space and time. So who knows? Like in that other galaxy, maybe time is slower or faster. You know, so you may see a totally different Ezra and a totally different Thrawn when they do eventually return. So
Sure.
Well, it's gonna be if I mean, I think it would it be my turn anyway, Cyber?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, so no, I was gonna say it'll be interesting to see like what the deal is with Ezra and Thrawn, like where the hell they're at. Like, are they near each other? Like, I mean, are they aware of each other? Like, you'd think that they would be. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I mean, they,
Yeah.
if they plunged into this place or whatever together, right? Because of Ezra, then at that point, like, are they friends? Like, I mean, how does this work? You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, I've seen the Rebels episode through the hats off to New Rock Stars for their review, their rewatch that they've been doing of the seasons.
Mhm.
And I saw the episode from the 4th episode of Rebels where Ezra goes to this place and where he saves Ahsoka from getting killed by Vader and everything and whatnot,
yeah.
right? Isn't this somewhat similar to where he's at now?
I don't think so. Because the world between worlds was kind of like a cave in this ancient Jedi temple that had
Yeah.
been buried for forever.
Yeah.
And the where Thrawn and Ezra are just in another galaxy.
They're just they're just way out in the great far reaches of the outer rim where like nobody fucks with anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where Thrawn's from, in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right?
Well, I think it's actually like I thought it originally that it was they went to the unknown regions, which
Yeah.
is actually part of this galaxy that they're currently in. But meanwhile, they're in another galaxy altogether.
Oh, that's right. That's what the Ellsworth woman was actually saying, was that he's in another galaxy. This is our
Right.
galaxy, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean, everybody. These guys pretty much covered everything that there is to say about. I love the Hui or whatever, however you pronounce his name, the droid, just
Yeah.
because he's so humanistic. Like, and then I love Chopper too. I mean, we haven't gotten to the Chopper scenes yet, but like Chopper's fucking great too.
Mhm.
Like live action Chopper is dope as shit.
Yeah.
And he even speaks basic,
Yeah.
which is great because you can kind of understand what he's saying. If you
Yeah.
like, once you watch it more than once, you can actually understand exactly what he's saying. He's saying like basic shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why don't you just shoot it? You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I was gonna like, you guys know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get to that, but no. Overall, I thought that the Ellsworth stuff with her little sect there with Balin and whatnot and everything, I would like to have seen more of that in the episode. Like, I feel like they haven't done much with with his Padawan. I like her. Like, she seems like a really interesting character to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whatnot. And I really don't even get the gist of, I don't get to have a clue about her.
Right.
Like, it's great that they're giving us all this background information about other characters and whatnot, and we're familiarizing ourselves with them. But I want to know who the dark Jedi motherfuckers are, the middle ground Jedi type people, right? Like,
Yeah.
or wherever the hell they're supposed to be, right? I mean, and if they're aligned with people like the Night Sisters. Aren't the Night Sisters the type that fuck with like the Sith type shit, like and the dark Jedi type shit?
Yeah. They do use the Force, but they're not Jedi. They're not Sith. They're just
So what Balin and his Padawan are, they're not what that thing from Rebels was, that like that middle ground God being or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? That Jason comes across, whoever whatnot, that restores the sight.
No.
Not Jason.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that thing that's like in the ground that comes up and like
Yeah.
a monster.
It's like I'm not Jedi or Sith.
Right. You're right. Yeah, I would think there's somewhere in between Although I did get the feeling that Balin may want to reach Sith level, because when he was talking to his Padawan about what happens when they find Thrawn,
Yeah.
and he's like, have unbelievable power, So I'm wondering if, I don't know. I just think because they told you, Dave Filoni told us years ago that there are no gray Jedi. They used to say that there was a fan theory was that there was a gray Jedi, something between the light and the dark, and they can dabble in either one. And he said back then it doesn't exist, but now you have these two characters. So I think there's something a little more mysterious about their situation, that we're just going to have to hopefully watch unfold.
It's just unfortunate because I think that they could be doing more with them already. Now, again, I haven't seen episode 3 yet, so we'll see what we get in episode 3, right?
Yeah.
But I hope they don't literally force a duel right off the bat with freaking Ahsoka and Balin right off the bat. Right. I don't want that to happen. So I'm saying I don't want to see that happening because then it's then he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty much that simple. Like, he's done. And I want to see him in the series, but no, I find the whole element interesting to me is the people that are trying to assist finding Thrawn and what their goals are. What is the power that he feels like they're going to obtain? Like, what is this power? It's obviously not a financial thing or whatever, whatnot, or about prestige or anything like that. I would think it would be a actual power to wield, that's the kind of power they would want, I would imagine. Right. So, besides that, I got nothing pretty much else. Cyber.
All right. Thank you. Excellent, folks. Excellent. Okay. So after that, that's when Ahsoka meets Hera on Corellia to travel to the Corellian shipyard. We see them go there, and they get there, and they start talking with this one gentleman who seems to be kind of like the manager guy in charge there type of deal. And basically they end up taking a ride, and he explains what's going on, and they ask some questions such as, what these workers that used to be a part of the Empire, are they still allegiant to the Empire and all that kind of stuff? And he's like, no, they're allegiant to money, he says basically. And basically most of them aren't a part of the, still believe in the Empire and stuff like that. And they're building all these giant hyperdrives there. And they go flying past them and stuff like that on a little machine that they're riding, and they're seeing that, and they ask it a few questions. Basically, they end up getting to this command center area, and basically have more of a conversation, asking questions about certain things, and basically get to a point where Hera asks to look at a certain document, and it says it's classified, and she was like, well, I'm a general, and nothing's classified to me. And he's like, well, in this case it is. She's like, no, I'm a general. Everything is not classified. And he's like, well, there's nothing I can do. It's like, well, she's like, do you want me to do something? And he goes, whatever the droid's name is, get over here and help me with this. And basically the droid unlocks it, and basically, says that there's this massive hyperdrive being built by workers that are still loyal to the Galactic Empire. And as they're, figuring this out and talking, all of a sudden, two of the people that are in that command room are like, hail to the Galactic Empire type of deal, and start shooting at them. And of course, Ahsoka goes into action, and so does Hera, and they both take out the people. And basically, we end up finding out that there's this particular droid that has to do with it all. And basically, they ask where he is, and the droid says, oh, he's on that cargo ship that's leaving. And they're like, oh, crap. So basically, Ahsoka's like, you go deal with that. I'll go deal with this. And Ahsoka jumps out the window. And then Hera gets to her ship. And that's when we get introduced to her little droid guy, which I believe that's who you were talking about earlier, Jeff. And basically, she goes after the ship Ahsoka ends up dealing with a couple lightsaber wielders, a droid and some dude that's like masked that we don't know who the hell he is, and
The Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor. And they end up battling it out, which was a really awesome fight sequence. Absolutely loved it. Ahsoka doing the ambidextrous fighting with the two sabers was so freaking awesome. They basically battled out, and then we go back and forth between her and Hera going after the ship, and she's like hailing to it, saying, "Stop, return to base. You have an unauthorized person on board." Blah blah blah, stuff like that, and keeps going back and forth between them two, and they're fighting and stuff, and her dodging fires and stuff like that, and she's talking with her droid guy, and basically he's like trying to look for a transponder to be able to attach to the hull of the transport so that they could track it, and he like has some funny moments, stuff like that, which was super hilarious. Basically Chopper, as we said earlier, he's an astromech droid, and I don't know anything about Chopper, so this is the first time I've ever seen him. I haven't watched Rebels or anything like that. So yeah, I thought this droid was hilarious because basically he was talking like normal. And he basically eventually Chopper finds it underneath a battery that Hera has said, "Did you look under the battery?" And he looks at the battery, and there it is. And so he throws it, and it attaches to the hull of the thing right before it jettisons into hyperspace. And they got it tracked. And so basically after that, it goes back to Ahsoka again, who's still battling a few of those, the Inquisitor and that droid. She ends up destroying the droid, and the Inquisitor basically takes his saber, makes it into a 2-saber, and then has like this ring thing around it, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, this ring thing, does that make it do something special? And he ends up throwing it, and like almost like a boomerang. He goes flying it after, and she dodges it, and then of course he runs and gets onto his ship before he can be killed by Ahsoka. And he basically gets up, he looks down to see if Ahsoka's still alive after being shot at, and she walks gracefully out of the smoke. You're just like, haha, Ahsoka's badass, man. Yeah. And then the lightsaber thing comes flying back, and she dodges it, and he grabs it. Basically that's how that ends right there. After that, that's when Hera basically calls to Ahsoka saying, Ahsoka, and she's like, I'm here. And she's like, we got the transponder onto the cruiser ship, so we're able to track it. It's like, oh, good. And then it ends there. So we'll stop there. So let's talk about this little section of this episode, which I think this was the best part of the episode. This part rocked. It was so fun, so awesome, so intense, and just really well done. And so what were you guys' thoughts on this section of the film? What did you think about it, how it worked, how it did? What did you think about how things played out here? And what did you think about the fighting, the choreography, the CGI work, the droids, the kind of the introduction to the Inquisitor, the introduction to Chopper? What were just your general thoughts on that section of the film? Start with you, Jeff, this time.
I thought that, like you said, I mean, it was probably the highlight of the episode. Of course, it just so happened to also have all the action, really, of the episode, right? But it was good. I thought that the timing and the flow of the episode was really good. I'm not sure what the length was on this one. I don't believe it was 57 minutes long. 45. Okay. For 45 minutes, that was pretty tight. It really was. It was pretty tight. And they didn't waste anything. Say what you want, if you want to, look at it from an episodical, review standpoint, kind of analytically, if anything, the way I tend to do, where, I keep forgetting he's the Wrath of fucking Khan nowadays is here. Watch out.
Hey guys, what's up?
Wrath of Khan in the house. What's up, Wrath of Khan? Jassem, do you want to? If you want to step in, did you hear what Cyber's question was?
No, I just came home from work. What's up?
Oh, well, all right, brother. Here, let me graciously and courteously just ask you before I launch into my answer to where we're at in the episode, which is basically right when in episode 2 when they have the action scene where they go to the depot, and Hera does her thing with Chopper, right, and gets the manages to get the beacon on to like that hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Then we get Ahsoka take on the Inquisitor and like whatever that droid was and everything and whatnot before they dip.
HKs.
Yeah. And I appreciate they mentioned that the HKs is what they're called. I forgot those assassin droids. What was your overall take on the episode 2 as Cyber started the show off? Did it meet your expectations?
It actually exceeded my expectations because I did not expect to have so much action that soon in the series. When you look at the other series like Andor or Mandalorian, it's like the beginning there's like a lot less action, and over time the action builds. But with Ahsoka, it's like the action just like came right out the gate.
Okay. I guess that sounds perfectly reasonable. As I was saying before, I thought, like I was saying, Cyber, that's a really great part of the episode. It really is. Ahsoka wielding her dual lightsabers is excellent. It's always fun to watch. I love dual lightsaber wielding. I just think it looks fucking awesome. I don't really care who it is that's doing it. It doesn't really make any difference. But the fact that it's Ahsoka doing it is even cooler.
Yeah.
Because it just seems it looks natural for her, almost like for her character, almost like it. I can't imagine her without him, to be honest with you. Something about it's like having two fucking guns, right? And like an Arnold movie or something, right? Like Arnold's better with two guns than he is with one,
Right.
or like seven, if possible. Like and fuck. I remember when I was a kid, Commando. When you go to that gun shop in Commando and shit, and there's all those guns.
Yeah.
That was like an orgasm for me when I was like 6 years old. I was like, what the fuck? When can I go in there?
This is why I like Darth Maul, because he has the two-sided lightsaber, and I thought that was more useful than any of the Sith lightsabers.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, did Count Dooku had two lightsabers? I'm trying to remember.
He
No.
did.
Maybe.
He did. It was. I think it just depended. He just kind of like. Didn't he have more than two at one point?
I don't know.
I remember he had the curved one. I mean, unless he.
Yeah.
Because he had like how many arms did he have?
Oh, you're
No,
thinking
that's
Grievous.
no.
You're
Yeah,
thinking
Grievous.
General
No.
Grievous.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dooku.
No.
Oh no, Dooku used one lightsaber. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, General Grievous didn't use he used like all his Jedi victims' lightsabers.
Yeah.
If you've seen the cartoon and of course the Revenge of the Sith movie.
No, that's true. No, you're right. And I'm glad that you made that distinction. But no, I loved Chopper like going through shit and throwing shit out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, check, like, look at this shit and then like throwing it out. Like, I was wondering what that shit was. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, did you go through my shit? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and he actually says it. He's like, did you go through my stuff?
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? And she's like, no, I didn't go through your stuff. I just love that you can actually understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
all the other droids just beeping shit, whatnot, except for, Hui or whatever. Other than that, they just kind of beep. With Chopper, he actually talks and you know what he's talking about. Like, it's very simple. He's like, you did go through my shit.
Yeah. And
Jeff, with the Phantom, like that ship that like Chopper was in, that like whole like area where, all this stuff was at. This is like the very first time that they actually showed that in like the whole Star Wars canon.
That's right, because that's Ghost's like landing craft ship. It's not like it's actual. That's not the Ghost.
Right.
It's called the Phantom.
Yeah, right. Isn't it something that they can disperse from the Ghost?
Yeah.
It's a part of the Ghost. Yeah.
So that's cool. That just shows you the scope of the Ghost.
Mhm.
What is interesting is that how they got that ship, they actually stole it from a separatist relic.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's in Rebels. And like that whole compartment where Chopper has like his stuff, that's like brand new. Like even in Rebels, they never had anything like that. It's just like an FYI.
I was waiting for him to actually find White Vision's penis in there and like throw that out there. Like, oh fuck, White Vision's penis, and have him toss it out, or maybe put it back for White Vision. I don't know, I mean, do a guy a solid, but not that I'm trying to cut anything to our OnlyFans or anything like that, whatnot. I'd never do anything like that. But anyways, no. It's funny how they had to, like, as always, they had to always throw in the whole, like, the New Republic's not handling their business. Look at how sloppily they're handling shit. They've got fucking, like, whole companies, like, where the Empire motherfuckers are up in every single, like, they're like all over the place. The minute that, like, the minute that, like, they go try to, like, actually stop some shit or do something, like, every single one of the people in that one room the guy takes him to has a blaster. Like,
Right.
all of them do. You know what I mean? Whatnot. And if you look at one point there, Ahsoka actually, with her lightsaber in her hand, she does a force push, and force pushes one of the actual laser blasters out of one of the guard's hands or whatever, the employee's hands or whatever, whatnot, as it's shooting at her, like, as she's fighting. So she's really good. Like, I mean, if you kind of slow-mo that shit, you can see it. But yeah, really great part of the scene. I really thought that. Oh, and the way that I really liked Hera's deal. I liked how she kind of, like, brokered the peace or whatever between Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I thought that her whole role was really interesting in the episode. Like, I liked her part. I thought that she was strong. Right. And then I'll leave it at that.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. Leech, same question, sir. What did you think about that sequence?
I liked, I mean, the two standout characters were definitely Ahsoka and Chopper. I do like the fact that you can hear or understand what Chopper's saying now. Even in the cartoon, they didn't, you still couldn't, you could pretend like you knew what he was going to say, but this one you can truly understand him, and just that he's a shit talker and all this, but Ahsoka, dual lightsabers, badass. I want to know what the story is behind the white blades. I'm not even sure where that comes from, but but anyway, can they see that on can they see that online? What you're writing there? Nice. Nice.
They could.
Okay, because I wanted.
That's the comic section. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's not the private.
Awesome. And just Ahsoka being a complete badass, and I loved the no look dodge of the the Inquisitor's lightsaber coming back. Marek, he's very mysterious. Like, nobody knows who he is, but I mean, he could just be a nobody. But there's so many fan theories going around that he's Star Killer from the Force Awakens game. Then that he's Boris Ophi, I think is the name of the former Jedi that framed Ahsoka during the Clone Wars, which made her leave the Jedi Order. But I just have a feeling it's a nobody. I don't think there's any huge backstory for Mark. Now, the reason why they think it's Starkiller is that Starkiller's real name was Galen Marok, and so it's very similar last names. But if that was Starkiller, Ahsoka would have had no shot in hell of winning that match. Like, Starkiller would probably crush her with his mind. He was that powerful. Pulled a Star Destroyer right out of the sky as it was trying to leave. So it'd be interesting to see who he is, but I really think he's just a nobody. But
maybe he's White Vision.
The who?
I said maybe he's White Vision.
Oh, yeah. Now that would be a spin.
All right. Thank you, Leech. All right. Andres.
Out.
Your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. I think this was the best. I mean, it's everyone's favorite part of this episode. I really enjoyed the showcase fight scene with the Inquisitor. I think that was really awesome. Uh, seeing Chopper the first time was really neat. I, again, just like everyone else in the panel, I haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, so it was nice to see Chopper here. Um, yeah, I, I think it's very impressive that they're able to tell story and action at the same time, because that's been a big issue with the Disney Plus shows. It's just the balance of the action and the storytelling. Here, I think they did a really good job of balancing that. Plus, it you know I appreciate we're not doing this kind of like mystery or like kind of build up. Like we know like what is the plot about. Like everyone is trying to find Thrawn, and like it's like okay, how they're gonna find him, and it's like we know from the bad guys side they need to have this drive to go to this one location of the galaxy that they know, where our heroes don't know that. So yeah, so it's really good that we're like 2 steps ahead with our characters, which is neat. Like we're with our characters and what they're doing. And I wanted to like piggyback with Jeff about like learning about like every Star Wars movie since the Disney era has shown that there's a like a gray area of of the Star Wars universe. Like everyone has to pick a side. Like there's one side that will help the Republic rebellion, and then there's others that still loyal to the Empire, or the bad guys. Like the Last Jedi had that like scene with I don't know, that arms deal that Finn and Rose had to. I don't remember the name of the character, but like he showed Finn about the art, the like the plans of the details of the ships and all that. Like every side are like are proffering the whole war, which is true. That's happening in the real world. So here, it wasn't like a big surprise that like everyone's still like loyal to the empire. It's like they're still greed and like they're still want money. So it's not a big surprise that betrayal happened. Um, I guess I did like Leech who brought up the general. Like I really like Mary Wiston's character here. Like I really like that she was very proactive, and I really like that she's trying to push Sabine to be part of the mission, plus convince Soke to let her back into the fold, because she did help them find that location where the drive was at, and
Right.
And she was part of their rebel uh, team in the show, and so I really like that she's trying everything in her power to like get everyone be on the same page and stop this like emerald threat that's gonna come soon with Thrawn. So yeah, so I'm very impressive of her role in this series, and I hope we see more of that. And plus, I think she was great casting for this character. I think I love Mary Wiston as actress since, oh my god, like Sky High. She's a great actress. Um, yeah, and her chemistry with um, Rosie Dawson it's also great. I think she's working well with these actresses in the show, so that's really good. Because like you need to have that, like you have to have the sense that they have been friends since the cartoon. And I think the show, these actors have done a really good job, and I get a sense that all three of them, Ahsoka, Sabine, and the General, are like old friends from a long time ago, and you could get that in this episode. Um, yeah, and the Inquisitor, I, I don't know. This is gonna be far fetched. I don't know if they're trying to build a twist or something like that. It could be Ezra,
I
right?
did hear that also. Yeah.
Yeah, like because like Morgan is I don't know what Morgan is, but like she's like a witch, right? She
Yeah.
can easily like done something to Ezra a long time ago and use that her advantage to trick Sabine and like capture her as well. Because we see that with like a couple of the Star Wars movies, like Empire Strikes Back. like Darth Vader, like hurrying Han, got the attention of Luke to go over to Cloud City.
Right.
So I can see Morgan to maybe do that in later in the series. Maybe. But we'll see.
Yeah, and there's in Rebels there, like Ezra was not like tempted by the dark side, but he had a very strong curiosity.
He was flirting with the dark side.
Right. So when like at one point he was like buddy with Darth Maul, you know. So he's not your traditional Jedi, and I think maybe he would dabble in some things, and maybe he slipped, you know, and then just kind of embraced the dark, you know. That's a possibility, you know. But yeah, I've heard that same thing, that it would be Ezra.
Yeah,
And that's probably makes the most sense out of the, you know, the three choices or three theories that are going around.
Well, at least I cross the dark side every other time I go to Yuki Massage Parlor, baby.
yeah. So that's all.
Yeah.
For me.
All right, thank you, Andres. All right. Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Very well done.
What are you doing in my living room, bro? Oh, you're muted, bro.
You're muted, bro.
What are you doing in my living room?
Are you guys gonna tune pianos together later or what?
No, we're gonna fight over the same piano.
With Sabine?
Did you have anything else you would like to add to this, Mr. Rathacon?
Yeah. So going back to how Hera and Ahsoka went to that shipyard and like learned that all the people working there are like loyal, or once loyal and still are, to the Empire. Just for context, so there's this novel called Bloodline. It's a Star Wars novel, and in that novel, which takes place around the same time as the Ahsoka series, you will learn that like pretty much half of the New Republic, they actually like the Empire. I don't know if any of you guys knew about that, because that is some important context that we need to bring, especially as, you know, you have Imperials like on all levels of the Senate. Yeah. Did anyone know about that?
I didn't.
No.
I even read probably 3/4 of Bloodline. It kind of lost me. Like I lost interest in it, put it that way. But I don't remember that from the book. But
no, I had no idea that it was that bad.
I mean, it's more like they like the Empire mainly because they wanted like the galactic government, the Coruscant government, to like be strong, because they want like a strong central government, not like what a lot of these like, you know, rebel people like Han Solo and stuff, like they wanted like all the systems have more power than the central government. So there's like this whole divide, and the people who like wanted the strong central government, like they would secretly like have like imperial memorabilia and stuff. I also like that in that book, and as we see here, it's like, you know, we start wondering, how does the Empire even have money to rebuild and eventually become the First Order? What you're seeing in that shipyard in Corellia, those are like the little steps that end up creating the First Order. So that's like something else we should keep in mind.
That's good.
Gotcha.
Because that is one of the most frustrating things about the sequel trilogy. Is like, how the hell is the First Order here? So now you're explaining that. That makes a lot of sense now. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what they did even with like the original trilogy and the prequels. It's like you make the movies, they might not really make sense, especially with like from episode 2 to 3, where it's like the clones have like one hole and then they have like 2 holes. It's like, what? They have like TV shows and books just to fill the gaps.
Makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. I won't spoil too much more. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So, all right. So before we move on, what was everyone's thoughts on the little sequence? This did happen in between the fight sequences and stuff like that. When Huang speaks with Sabin about finishing her Padawan training. What was everyone's thoughts on that little scene there where they're having their discussion and conversation? Did you appreciate it? Did you like it? Did you think it was pointless? What did you overall think about that little section before we move on into the pretty much the finale of the episode? Starting with you, Andreas.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it briefly. I mentioned that I really like the android convincing Saban to, reconsider to return to Jedi training, and I think that whole conversation was great. Great, like writing from Dave Filoni, it was really great. I like how casual it is. Like I like how this android is like 100 years old, working under the Jedi Council, and just like casually tell her like, yeah, you still need training, and like we still need you. I just love the performance by David Tennant and talking to Sabine like that in a very casual way. It's really neat. Because it's true, and we do like it did affect her. She did think later in the episode that okay, I need to do this. Like, I want to find my friend Ezra. Why not? And then her cutting her hair, it makes a lot of sense. So I think that confirmation was important because we need her to be part of that, like the team of this, because she's going to be a major character in the series. So no, I think the scene is important. It got everything done right, so I really like it.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Leech, since you only have a few more minutes, sir, how about you go ahead and give us your thoughts and go ahead and include your thoughts on the ending and your overall rating, sir.
Okay. Andres kind of made me think more when he said that, because when we first started talking about this subject, I was like, it was just almost like a throwaway scene for me. But now I think it's a little bit deeper than that. So maybe I need to rethink the way I think. But yeah, overall, let's. Oh, we were talking the ending. The ending, like I said, build up into anticipation for the following week. I just saw episode 3, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm not talking about the wrong episode. But I would say overall rating. You know what? I don't think this one had many flaws. I think this might be a 10. If I gave 9.5 to episode 1. So yeah, I was impressed.
Okie dokie. Excellent, sir. So yeah, want to thank you for being on tonight. And whenever you need to go, just drop on out, and
Okay.
we'll see you next time, sir.
All right.
See you,
Had an
Leech.
amazing time, guys. Thanks.
All right, Jay.
I'll see you guys later.
Appreciate you.
Yep. You too.
All right, so continuing with a question about the sequence with Huang and Sabin. Mr. Rathakan, your thoughts on that sequence, sir?
I don't really have much thoughts on it. I guess it's more like I was actually surprised that Huang kind of like inspired her to take a second chance, even though like Ahsoka wasn't that willing to train her. I guess it dives deeper into the influence that Huang has on Ahsoka. Like, sure, Ahsoka is like an adult, and she seems to like be in charge of everything, but Huang is like not really like a father, but like how do you say it? Like one of those like trusted advisors that's like much older, much wiser, like that type of relationship. And it's like, I guess at the same time, using that relationship, he kind of like inspires Sabine to like, kind of like how, man, my thoughts are actually are like all over the place with this one.
He's like a forefather. Like he's like he's a part of Jedi culture. Like,
yes, and then
and shit.
Yes, and then from there, it's like when Ahsoka's not around, he acts like that to Sabine. So it's like no matter where he goes, he's gonna act like that, or sort of.
Excellent, sir. All right, Mr. Jeff. Same question, sir. What did you think about the Sabin Huang conversation?
Well, I get what Jassem's saying. He's authentic. Huang is or whatever. Like he's authentic for a droid. Like he has his own distinct.
Huang, Jeff.
Huang, whatever. Fuck.
Did you watch the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I watched the Clone Wars.
Did you finish season 5?
Well, yeah, but that was during my angel dust fentanyl experiment. Combining it together experimentation period. So like no, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I watched Clone Wars, but I mean, I fell asleep a couple times at night on an episode here or there. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so that's why you call him Huang instead of Huang, like everyone else.
Hey, listen, I've caught up hella on Star Wars. Like, compared to where my knowledge was at, like 6 months ago, compared to where I'm at now, I'm way beyond anywhere I was ever at. So, like, I'm quite proud of my Star Wars. Like, I'm selling people on Star Wars now. On my own with my Huang shit.
Huang.
I'm probably gonna get like a strike from YouTube for like a racial slur now or some shit like that.
Check.
Yeah.
Huang.
All right. So how do I pronounce it again, Jassem? Is it? Am I sounding it? Is it Juan?
Does the Android have a nickname? Like, it could be easy for us to say it.
Wang.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. Oh, my bad, folks. Oh my god! Even I fell the fuck out there for a minute. Oh, yes, it's possible, Lord. But anyways, I told you I make myself laugh sometimes.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there you go.
Talk about Wang.
Jassem, you got me falling out over here, bruh. The fuck, man? I'm trying to be professional over here. You know. Anyways, see,
especially with his angel dust and
crack
reference.
No, but no, I think that he's very authentic for a droid. Like he I mean, look, he's been like somehow I don't know what he's powered by. I don't know if it's crack or what, but like he's been around for 8,000 years or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's been kicking it for like 8,000 years. Like, helping create like lightsabers for like, I saw the episodes like, on Clone Wars where he like almost like saves the children and whatnot, all the Jedi children and whatnot and everything and all that. Like I know who the character is. He's very like he was very that was probably one of the most powerful moments of the episode, I thought, as far as like what really got through to Sabine. You know what I mean? When that was like, when he finally he was like, you're wasting your own time. You know what I mean? Like, like that was deep. You know what I mean? Like that's what, that's why she decided to go with her, like her lesbo cut. That it was inspired by Huang. So there you go.
Bro, Sabine had that like short hair thing even during Rebels, like way before Huang.
I know, I said that. I'm messing with you now, Jassem.
Oh. Okay.
Yep, folks. Well, thank you all. Great job and all. Fantastic answers to that question. Very well done, folks. All right, so moving on. So after they have successfully put the beacon on the cargo ship, the rest of the people there at the shipyard, the workers, are arrested and scooted off. And of course, at that time, Hera mentions like, how can all these people still be loyal to the Empire? And that's when Ahsoka goes, they're not to the Empire. It's money. It's greed. And that there's a good point there. Greed is always going to be that number one factor of causing people to do the opposite of what is right. So greed is a very powerful thing. So that was a very poignant point there, I feel, because if you think about it, you go through any of these Star Wars films, what was the one thing the Empire was want? They want ultimate power, which would be greed. So that makes perfect sense. So after that, we see Ahsoka back on her ship. Before we do that, we go back. We see Sabin back at the hospital. She is good to go. She is healed. She's ready to leave. She ends up going back to her place. And of course, we get another eye fill of those great, weird alien cat things that meow like a cat.
It's called a loath cat.
Loath cat, yeah. See, it's called a cat, loath cat. And so we get our wonderful eye fill of that again, which almost kind of looks like a Pokemon, almost a little bit. If you notice, I feel it looks kind of like a little bit like a Pokemon, which is kind of funny. But anyway, so she goes back there. She goes in and she starts pulling out piece by piece this armor. And if you're paying attention, you notice that it is Mandalorian armor. And she pulls out all the different pieces. And then all of a sudden, after showing her putting the pieces down and the helmet, all of a sudden she has it on. And she takes her hair and cuts it. And gives herself the most butch look ever. And I'm going to say this again. I know that in the series, she has shorter hair. But I think in the cartoon series, her hair looked better than what wig they put on this actress in this show. Anyways, so she cuts off her hair so she could put the helmet on for the Mandalorian hat. And so then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that's when we go to Ahsoka. She's on her ship, and all of a sudden a hologram pops up, and it's Sabin. And she has her armor on, and she has her helmet there, and she's like, I'm ready to continue, basically. And Ahsoka kind of just stares and looks and kind of makes kind of like a smile. Then after that, that's when we move on to, we get our final sequence of the episode where we go back to Elsbeth. And she's in some sort of ship or area that she's in. And she's contacted via, the hologram from Skull, Hattie, and Marok. And they said that they have obtained the hyperdrive so they can finish building their ship called the Eye of Sion. And so if you pay attention to that scene before it goes to them, it shows the outer kind of the whole ship itself and them docking into it and showing like it's like this big round circle thing. And almost, of the ship that they're building for some odd reason to get the Thrawn, which it's the weirdest looking ship I've ever seen. For any Star Wars ship I've ever seen, like this thing looks just weird. Like it makes me kind of think of the Federation ship in Episode 1 that gets destroyed after Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon go up to talk to the Federation guys, and they're on that ship thing, and it kind of gets it gets destroyed at some point there because the Jedi are on board. It kind of makes me think of that a little bit because it's like a round spear almost, and that's what kind of this thing almost looks like. You could take this thing and put it on your head almost, like a crown almost. That's how this like ship looks like. So it looks it's cool, but at the same time, it's a very weird looking ship for a Star Wars ship, I feel. Anyways, and so like I said, we get a hologram of Skull, Hattie, and Marok, and they basically tell Elsbeth that they have attained the hyperdrive. So that they can finish building the Eye of Sion, so they can find Thrawn. and basically Elspeth notices kind of Skull kind of having interesting idea, like thinking a little bit, having, and she's like, "Oh, tell me what's on your mind." And basically says that I foresee, Ahsoka coming for them, and basically that's how the episode ends. So, what is your thoughts on that conclusion of the episode? What did you think overall of that ship? What did you think about it? Did you think it looked like a cool ship? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think about that conversation with the bad guys? And what did you think of Ray Stevenson's performance? Even though it was kind of short little segments in this episode, still he got some pretty decent screen time for what little that character gets. And overall, what was your thoughts on the episode and your rating? Starting with you, Jeff, Mr. Giggle.
I'm gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna give Almac PM a 10 on that shit right there. It's fucking hilarious, dude. I was watching Ancient Aliens, and the people said that Morgan Elizabeth built the pyramids of Giza to find Thrawn. That is goddamn hilarious. That's a 10 on that one right there. Almac, can I give you props? Yeah, man, fucking and Balin Skull even says basically like I can't my sense of her in the Force is elusive, but she's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like she's, like her determination is coming. She's coming. And you can tell he means it. He's forlorn when he says, flat out, he's like, it would be a shame to have to kill Ahsoka. There's so few Jedi left. You know what I mean? Whatnot, right? And you could tell he means it. I thought, like, he seemed, that he seemed very heartfelt in that moment. And that's where, again, like, it's too bad, like you said, Cyber, that we're only getting so much of him because, like, there seems like there's so much depth there to the character. You know what I'm saying? And I really would like to know more about his relationship with his Padawan. Right. Like that. I really like her. I like her character. I like she's got that, that savage dark Jedi shit going down. I dig that shit. I really do. I like that shit. But I like the fact that no Braveheart here tonight. That was 2 weeks ago. But no, it's a 10 for me, most definitely. And I think that seeing that hologram with Sabine was dope. Haircut or not, that shit was dope. That's all she sent was like, I'm ready. Right? It closed the chapter of the episode perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like it would just, you know what I mean? Like, for me, like it's set to where when they got together, like, I felt like Ahsoka's lines in the episode were short and very concise, but to the point, right? And she flat out said that, like, the Padawan will know, and I'll know when she's ready. Well, so for her to come full circle in that episode, from like fucking up in the beginning to like back as a Padawan, deciding to be a Jedi again, putting on her Mandalorian gear, I felt like it was almost like redemption for her character, because episode 1 did not do her solid at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, ugh, like seriously. So yeah, hey, I'm happy. Like, I don't want to have to write her off from jump. So hats off to Sabine. I'll give her a 10 too, even with her fucking bull dyke haircut.
All right, thank you, sir. Jassem, your thoughts, sir, on the conclusion of the episode and your rating, sir.
Thanks, Cyber. So let's start off with the scene where she actually cuts off her hair with a blade. This actually resembles a Rebel scene near the end of season 4, where Kanan actually cuts his hair before he actually saves Hera from this like Imperial prison or facility on Lothal. And what's interesting is that in Rebels, after he rescues Hera, as like the whole crew's about to leave, he dies. I'm not going to spoil how. And some people who actually watch Rebels, they might be like, wait, so Sabine cut her hair. She almost died at the beginning of the episode or the end of the first episode. So is she going to die again? Just that perspective alone is why some people don't see this thing as a redemption arc, or maybe a short-lived redemption arc. We'll have to see, but I don't think they'll make the redemption arc short for Sabine because it's just gonna ruin the show. Outside of that, I don't really have much to add anywhere else. I'll just give it a 10 out of 10 as well. I'll give Almec's comment a 10 out of 10 too. Man, Almec needs to make more of these funny comments. That's all I have, Cyber.
All right, thank you, sir. Andres, same question, sir.
Yeah, so I gotta get my rating out of this. A 10 out of 10 for this gentleman, Alec McPM. Thank you, sir, for being in this live stream. You made my day. I love that you brought Pokemon. So thank you. Yeah, 10 out of 10. And same 10 out of 10 of this episode. I think this was a great episode. But yeah, the ship, this playing to your Cyber. I like the ship. I one thing I like about the Star Wars series that they have really great creative ships, like compared to Star Trek. I will say, like at least the Star Wars franchise, like I mean the Star Wars artists and you know vision people have done a really great job of creating these new and unique starships and fire jetters in the Star Wars universe. So this one was very unique, and I really like it. I really like how we took Sabine and her becoming again a what was the Angelian or something like that. You know, putting her armor back on and her cut, that was really emotional, and I think that was really cool. I wish, you know, I agree with everyone. The wig is really awful. I don't know why they could have done something different with the wig, or whatever. But yeah, so it makes me very excited for more. Oh, thank you. He's gonna give me more funny comments. Thank you. Anyway, but yeah, so I fairly enjoyed this episode. I'm very excited to see the next couple of episodes, particularly episode 3 soon. But yeah, 10 out of 10 episode for me.
All right, thank you guys. So my final thoughts on the episode, like I said, I enjoyed very much the final battle sequence. Thought that was really fun, really amazing. That's what made the episode for me. I got to give it a 7. I give it a 7 because of the fight sequence. The rest of the episode, I just didn't care too much for. I didn't think it was anything that great. Once again, I think that, you know, they could have even done, if they gave her the wig of Tonks from fucking goddamn Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows part 1 or 2, I would have taken that for that wig. She just looked so stupid. It did not shape her head right. It looked awful. But in the, like I said, in the animated series, it looks good. Like, cause it's more of a, it's almost like a short, it's like shoulder length almost, and it's frizzier, and it looks more. It didn't cup her head like a freaking helmet. So I got, once again, that stupid haircut looks so stupid. But anyways, that's the reason why I give it a 7. But overall, not too bad. You know, Rosario Dawson was amazing as you know, Ahsoka herself. I thought Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Mira was really great. They all did a great job in it. As for, you know, Sabin, I'm still on the fence with her. I really still don't like her. I don't think she was redeemed in this episode at all. The fact that they're making her a Mandalorian, which I guess she was in Rebels and previous stuff, I just feel like it's ripping off Mandalorian again. Like, it feels like either Mandalorian ripped it off or Mandalorian's being ripped off. You know, I'm like, I could go without a Mandalorian for at least a couple episodes of a Star Wars thing, and we already got the Mandalorian. We have 3 seasons of it, we don't need more. But at the same time, it's kind of cool that her actual Mandalorian suit is pretty cool and looking badass there. The helmet's pretty cool. But other than that, like her character, I don't think she's anything that great. Hands out to Almac PM in the comments. You are awesome. Yes, I have an allergy to Mandalorians. And it's because of the Mandalorian. But anyways, great to Almac there. Yes, she should go bald. That would be better. I would dig that. More of a bald look there, Almac. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I have to give it a 7 out of 10 for me. It was an okay episode. It's sad that this is one of the last things Ray Stevenson did. And it's fortunate that he didn't get more screen time. I still wish he would have got a little bit more. Because that character is really cool. I love that character of Stoll. He's really cool. I'm digging the Hattie character. I think she's an interesting apprentice. I'm looking forward to seeing where she goes. And this Elizabeth character, who appears to be the one kind of in charge. It looks like she seems to be the main bad guy of the series. It's gonna be interesting to see where she goes, what she's about, because it definitely is not your common, typical, bad guy of the Star Wars universe that I've seen, and definitely she's got a history that we haven't found out yet. So it'll be interesting to see more history about her. But yeah, I can't wait for the what I date a Mandalorian if she was hot enough. Okay, yeah, so that answers your question there, Almac. Look at that badass Mandalorian. Yeah.
What about the Armorer, baby? This is fuck, man. Like the Armorer should get her own show.
Oh God, no. She's not that great, bro. She's not that great.
I don't know, man.
Your love for this Armorer. I think
she brings her smithing tools and shit to battle, bro.
Who cares? That's
fucking awesome. All right, well, I just think it's dope as shit, man. Like she don't need no, she ain't got no fucking lightsaber, no Darth saber. She's got a fucking some fucking tool.
Almac thinks you prefer Bo-Katan, so
I do like Bo-Katan. Almac,
I agree, Almac. I think you like Bo-Katan more.
You know about Bo-Katan, baby. Bo-Katan knows how to get down.
Yeah.
And she takes her helmet. She takes her helmet off too, and that obviously makes things nicer when you're a female.
That is true. True. Anyways, folks, you guys are awesome. You guys are rocking. So that is the end of this review. So we'll do our plugs to get the hell out of here, and yeah. So, Mr. Jeff, you want to get people stuff up and running there and take us out?
I got you, bro. I got you.
Your armor lover.
There you are, sir. 691 subscribers, my friend.
Yep. So I've got up a couple people, as you can see there. Check out the Meg 2 review. Definitely go check that out. That's my newest review up. Badass. And then, of course, I have a couple new shorts I put up. I just did a Ahsoka episode 1 mini review for you guys. I did a frequency. They clone Tyrone. You're so not invited to my bar mitzvah, and then the Pope's Exorcist. Heads down, check out the Pope's Exorcist. That movie rocks. It was a fantastic horror film, really well done, and Russell Crowe was beast in it. He was so good. But yeah, so if you enjoy me here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, definitely go check out this solo content that I put up. And let's keep on working, getting us to that great 1,000 mark. We are 9 away from the great 700. So let's keep on working, getting those out there, and getting that stuff up, people. Let's do this.
We're gonna get it done. I don't care if I've got to get the armor involved. You know what I'm saying? And getting the armor in here and All-Mac together and Bo-Katan. We'll make it happen. I promise. I'm telling you.
Next time you see Jeff, he'll have a tattoo of the armor on himself.
Andres, what's up, bruh?
Very good. So I'm up to 798 subscribers. Again, thank you everyone from the MSU Bleeding Edge community. Just support me and Cyber as well, and everyone who gets started in this show. I really appreciate you guys' help and support. So yeah, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. So I just recently put out a Iron Man. I finished up the Iron Man comic book series. I entered the Mandarin. Check that out. Tomorrow I'm gonna put out my last Iron Man content related thing, my top 10 favorite Iron Man stories. And unfortunately, if everyone hasn't been in the news, last Sunday, I think it was Saturday, it was announced, but like unfortunately, one of our favorite character voice actors, Arlene Sorkin, who voiced Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series, you know, she's the first legit version of that character. I mean, this character came from Batman in a series, unfortunately passed away, so I made a tribute of Harley Quinn, so please check that out. And I did another one in my other channel from the DC Marvel Plus Talk. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And last thing to go, I just want to bring up this one thing from this episode. The planet that Ahsoka and the general went to is the same home planet that Han Solo came from. If you've seen the Solo film, that I totally forgot. I was looking at my notes just now, and that's actually important. So that's where Han Solo came from. If you guys know that the planet we saw in this episode.
Excellent.
And that's all. So
Andreas, the weather looks so different from Ahsoka to Solo. Like I like forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Was it in Solo? It was like raining.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Because in this episode, it was like shine, like it was sunny, it was beautiful. I want to go to that planet.
Yeah. And there's no mobsters.
Yes.
Well, hey, I don't have anything to plug, y'all. Jassem, thanks for coming on, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Jeff. I really enjoyed this.
Hey, episode 3, come back, brother. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Just for you, Cyber.
Where you from?
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pain. We really sick of standing